and welcome to Soda Review Channel, where today we'll be drinking this mug root beer floats vanilla howler. This is pretty transparently an attempt by the Pepsi Corporation to get in on the dirty soda trend. I didn't even look that up. It's just pretty transparent. Um, yep. I don't know what else there is to say here. This is a non-caffeinated beverage. Carbonated water, high corn syrup, natural and artificial flavor, caramel color, sodium benzoate to preserve freshness, citric acid, and calcium disodium to protect flavor. Curiously, they have eschewed the Colea extract found in regular mug root beer, which is used as a foaming agent in some drinks. So I don't know if this one's going to be a little bit less foamy. Yeah. I don't know why the can looks like waffles, but I don't know. Maybe they're trying to evoke like waffle cones for ice cream, but you don't you don't put root beer floats in waffle cones. So I don't know. Let's let's crack into this. I have high hopes for the texture after having tried Dirty Mountain Dew. You can check that out up here. It had a really lovely, creamy type of texture to it, and I'm really hoping that this has that too. And they're made by the same company, so here's hoping. That notably did not have any dairy in it. This does not say it does. There may or may not be a note on screen about whether or not it does. If there's not, it's because I didn't put it there. Let's see what we've got. Yep, it's a little bit less foamy. Still pretty foamy, but I would say that regular mug root beer is an extremely foamy drink. This is a lighter color. It's a little bit hard to tell at first because there are so many tiny bubbles in this glass that are just stuck to everything. But this is a lighter color. And, of course, both drinks are just not caramel colors, so they've clearly used less of it here. Thank you, random passerby. All right. Okay, that smells quite different. I'm almost getting a. Let me smell that again before I say that. Okay. I was gonna say I'm almost getting a buttery smell, and I almost am just a little bit, but I think it's kind of a dairy smell. Again, this doesn't claim to have any dairy in it, so I don't think it probably does. Um, but as with the Dirty Mountain Dew, Pepsi has figured out some way to make something smell and taste like dairy when it's not. It's very impressive, actually. Um, and even give it a little bit of a creamy texture. And the smell is giving me hope here. Yeah, this is definitely a little bit lighter than the regular mug root beer. Yeah, I think that that dairy is from the air quotes ice cream bit. Um, well, let's check out the taste and texture. Okay, yep. They have clearly done something. It is kind of creamy. The bubbles on the side have mostly cleared up. This is very clear now, although there are still some bubbles here and there. Curiously, what I'm getting from this is I'm getting a caramel flavor. There is that little bit of creaminess, but just a little bit. I would really prefer if there were more. Um, carameliness, maybe a little bit of butterscotch. I'm not really getting a ton of root beer float. Um, I don't know that it's bad, but it's certainly not what I expected. Um, hmm. I can kind of see how dumping a mug root beer into some vanilla ice cream, which is what I would expect the goal flavor of a drink like this to be. I can kind of see how you get something like this. It's not exactly what I was hoping for, though. Hmm. Okay, yeah. The more I go into it, the more I do kind of get root beer and melted vanilla ice cream, which is, of course, what I would expect. And I think there's a little bit of complication here because this is, of course, a liquid. And when you put together some vanilla ice cream and some root beer, you get a thing that is partially a liquid. And the more you let the ice cream melt, the more liquid it becomes, and the more your root beer starts to taste like vanilla ice cream. And if that's all, that's fine and good, right? And then there's also the question, how much ice cream did you use? And when you're trying to make a homogeneous liquid taste like a different heterogeneous liquid that also has melting solids in it, you're going to have to pick a balance. Do you want one glass of root beer with one scoop of ice cream that's all the way melted? Do you want one glass of root beer with one scoop of ice cream that you just put together? Do you want one very large glass of root beer with three scoops of ice cream that you have let melt all the way? I don't think this is my preferred combination, but I'm not sure which end it is. I think they've gone more for just poured together, but I'm not certain. Hmm. Yeah, the further I get into it, the more I do kind of get that sort of root beer float type flavor. It's it's fine, I guess. I would say part of the problem here is that mug root beer is a deeply mediocre root beer. Um, and I have to assume that this is based on the formula of mug root beer. Why would it not be? Um, so mug root beer got an okay, and I think that's probably what we're going to end up looking at here. Um, it's fine. The concept is interesting. I wish they had made it creamier. The flavor is fine, I guess. Um, I think that this is an interesting drink. Um, it's just not one that I think I want very much more of. It's not bad though. So I'm going to give the, what is this called again? The mug root beer floats vanilla howler. I'm going to give it an okay.